Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright, Spirit of Justice, as we've reached ourselves a pivotal part of the case, as using the picture taken of Queen Khura'in supposedly channeling at around the crime time. We've now found out that that picture does not correlate with a little added brightness. There is a burn scar on the breast, the chest of the lady in that photograph. However, a certain queen doesn't seem to have it. Who does? Please remove your round mandala so we can see what's behind it for ourselves. Is she powering up? Nope, didn't remove it, it just got broken. Ah! Look! It's the exact same burn scar as the one in the photo.
I don't understand.
I knew it. So the person in this photo really is... Yes, it's Queen Amara.
This is absurd. Are you suggesting they switch places?
Amara's confession earlier was also false. Mother, what is the meaning of this? Don't you see? This changes everything. We know for a fact this photo was taken at 2 PM, the exact time the murder took place.
But that would mean Queen Amara couldn't possibly have committed this crime.
Exactly. She now has an ironclad alibi. So Mr. Inga's killer couldn't have been Queen Amara.
I am afraid I no longer follow defense. Was it not Queen Amara who channeled the minister and the accused to stage the crime?
Yes, that fact has not changed. We have evidence placing her at the scene of the crime. And Dirk could have only been there in the tomb if she was channeling him. Which means... while Queen Amara did use spirit channeling to stage the crime, she didn't kill Minister Inga. His real killer is someone else.
Volkanka!
What's going on here? Was her mercifulness covering for someone?
If Queen Amara is not the killer, then who is it?
Isn't it obvious? Why was this rite held in the first place if Queen Khura'in wasn't going to perform it? Who was behind the two sisters switching places, and for what reason? The answers to these questions, along with the establishment of Queen Amara's alibi, obliterate a certain someone else's alibi. Well, we know who this is, the pivotal moment. Finally, we narrow things down.
Take that! Why that? Is this some kind of joke?
No, Your Majesty. I could never joke about something so grave. The only one who seemed to have a perfect alibi at the time of the murder was Her Eminence, Khura'in Sigatar Khura'in. Queen Amara, didn't your sister, Queen Khura'in, ask you to pose as her and perform the rite of channeling? And didn't she also have you drive Dirk's spirit from Miss Faye's body? And then stage the crime to make it look like he was in the minister's killer? And at 2 PM while you're performing the rite of channeling as Queen Khura'in, didn't she kill Minister Inga while disguised as Dirk? Well, Your Mercifulness? It's no use trying to hide it any longer. You need to tell us the truth now. Mother? Just as Minister Inga's true killer is... What? Mother! No! I really did it! Your Eminence, my life is yours! Isn't he one of Khura'in's royal guards?
Queen Amara! Bailiff, arrest that guardsman.
Mother! Khura'in couldn't have. Could she?
Someone call for an ambulance. Quickly now.
To be continued. Well, I'm not going to end the episode this early, am I? I could, to be devious. But we're moving straight on. What's going to happen next? No doodly-doo for me. No doodly-doo for you. What on earth is going on now? Well, if you want an admittal of guilt... Well, lucky the ambulance made it in time. But we've been forced into a recess for now while things get straightened out. I can't believe what just happened. Tell me about it. Do you think Khura'in put that guard up to it? If she did, she's going to regret it. No one gets away with something like that on my watch. Poor Queen Amara. Your benevolence? Any news on her condition? She is undergoing surgery at the hospital as we speak. They are giving her a 50-50 chance of survival, though. That Khura'in! Justice will be served. Why? Why did this happen? Oh, just as we were finally reunited. Oh, Queen Amara. What was that about being reunited? Oh, it's nothing. Right. How are you, Hornhead? Dirk was your father in all but blood after all. Thank you for your concern, your benevolence. But I'm fine. Right now, we still have a trial to see through. So that's what I'm going to stay focused on. Hornhead, you are sturdier than your stature lets on. Just don't overdo it. Okay, Apollo? Dirk. That was a real shocker, alright. Can't believe the dragon is dead. That's... Say, AJ, I was wondering, when Dirk disappeared after I freed him, that's because Amara turned back into herself, right? Yeah, I suppose so. But I don't know if it was because Dirk's spirit willed it, or if it was a part of Khura'in or Amara's plan. Man, our dream of revolution. Now what are we gonna do? Is this it? Don't give up yet. There is a very good chance that Khura'in is the real culprit in all of this. And if we can prove her guilt in court... Hey, you're right. That could be just the push we need. The dream lives on. Yes, it does. You know what that means, AJ? The fate of the revolution rests squarely on your shoulders. All in a day's work. Ah, who am I kidding? That's a ton of pressure. But this is what Dirk gave his life for, so I have to do this for him. The Honourable Rebel Dirk Sadmadi. I would have loved to have spoken with him while he yet lived. Really? Why not? I mean, he seemed like quite an interesting man. Did she bump her head or something earlier? The trial is about to resume. The defense is to report to the courtroom at once. Already? After what just happened? The first thing Khura'in will do is respond to that last accusation. So you better stay on your toes, Apollo. I will, Mr. Wright. Ready or not, Khura'in, here comes justice. And so there's blood on the courtroom floor, so to say. Floor is not a word.
Now then, let us resume today's proceedings.
Huh? Where's Nayuda? I must offer my apologies. I never imagined a royal guardsman would do such a thing. What? He wasn't acting under your orders.
How dare you cast such suspicions upon her eminence?
It is quite all right, your majesty. Suspicion is only natural under such circumstances. But rest assured that he acted alone, for I knew nothing of his plans. I don't believe that for a second. Now then, Your Majesty, regarding the murder of my husband, Minister Inga, I would like to offer a new possibility.
A new possibility, you say?
Indeed, for during the break, the real killer confessed to me.
What?
Bailiff, call the witness to the stand. The real killer confessed? What's she got up her sleeve this time? I have a really bad feeling about this. Yep. He's the one who confessed?
But what good is that, Maddie? You're the real killer?
I questioned him during the recess as I felt that Amara had been covering for someone. So it was that he finally confessed his crime to me. Nayuda, you didn't really do it, did you? Her Eminence speaks the truth. It was I who killed Justice Minister Inga. Nayuda!
Peace! Prosecutor Sad Manny, are you absolutely certain about this? A confession of this nature is grave indeed.
Yes, I'm certain. For I killed him by my own hand. At last the real killer has been revealed. How are we supposed to respond to this? Nayuda, retract your confession, now! Mr. Justice, it is not yet time for your cross-examination. Who cares about that? Admit it! It was Queen Khura'in who put you up to this. She forced you into giving a confession, didn't she? You are out of line, Mr. Justice. Learn some self-restraint. But... Or do you have something that might prove that I did not commit this murder? That is... What do you think you're doing, you idiot? Truly, the truth can set us free. Looks like Khura'in got to him somehow. I definitely didn't see this coming. Nayuda, why are you doing this? Why would you sacrifice even your life to do Khura'in's bidding?
Whatever the case may be. Prosecutor Sad Manny, your testimony, please.
Here it comes. Nayuda's confession. I could not remain silent while Her Eminence fell under suspicion for this crime. It was I who murdered Justice Minister Inga. He had to die for the future of Khura'in. I consider it divine judgment cast upon a fiend who sought to assassinate our monarch. My mother was simply covering for me. I am ashamed I let her go so far for my sake. You do understand what you're doing, right, Nayuda? You're sentencing yourself to death if you're found guilty. If that is the court's verdict, then so be it. I must obey the law above all else. The law, Nayuda? Or the Queen?
Objection!
Enough. This blather has nothing to do with the witness's testimony.
Please address any issues you may have during the cross-examination defense.
Oh, I will. I'm gonna blow his problematic testimony to smithereens. So how are we gonna do that? I didn't see any super standout statements, so that usually gives cause for pressing, right? I could not remain silent where Her Eminence fell under suspicion for this crime.
Hold it!
You kept quiet all this time, even though you were the real killer. Yes, and I accept that what I have done can never be forgiven. But I never imagined suspicion would fall upon the Queen herself. Prosecutor Sadmadi has placed the future of our kingdom above his own life. He has taken responsibility for his crime and is showing his loyalty to Queen and country. Without a monarch on the throne, Khura'in would be plunged into chaos. I could never wish that upon my homeland. That is why I had to let the truth be known. What a bunch of baloney! I'm going to ask you again, Nada. Did you really kill Minister Inga? Yes. No matter how many times you ask, Mr. Justice, the truth is immutable. It was I who murdered Justice Minister Inga. Hold it! It's not too late. You can still retract your confession before the verdict is rendered. There was no retracting the truth. One either tells it or does not tell it. It is that simple. Ah! Why do you always have to be so stubborn, Nada? I hate how you never listen to reason once you get like this. I think we'll need some evidence before we can get him to retract his confession. Either that, or we'll have to force a retraction out of him by appealing to what's in his heart. It's not going to be easy either way.
Prosecutor Sadmadi, what was the motive of your crime?
I had reason enough to kill Minister Inga. He had to die for the future of Khura'in.
Hold it! Okay, why?
What do you mean by that? Mr. Inga was planning to assassinate Her Eminence in a coup d'etat. I had to nip this evil in the bud, even if it cost me the purity of my soul. So you're saying the death of another is a reasonable price to pay to protect the Queen? Long have we remained independent under the authority of our spirit medium queens. We command the people's awe and respect with the power to commune with the dead. Without such a monarch, our kingdom would lose its standing in the world. But if spirit channeling is so important, why did you have Queen Amara perform the rites? I'm afraid my elder sister is quite capricious. She would fulfill her duty only when the desire to struck, as sporadic as that was. It was therefore something she did on a whim. There was no meaning behind it.
A meaningless whim? It's hard to press a statement like that.
Now, if I may return to my testimony. I consider it divine judgment to cast upon a fiend who sought to assassinate our monarch.
Hold it!
Divine judgment? Yes, I render judgment upon the minister on behalf of the Holy Mother. Are you saying the Holy Mother guided you? No, Her Holiness would never condone killing in her name, regardless of circumstances. As such, I believe my defiled soul will be damned to hell. But I do not regret what I have done. I willingly sacrifice my soul to protect this kingdom's future.
Ah, snap out of it already, Nada.
So his motive comes from a place of faith, huh? Why does that sound completely credible when it's coming from him?
Well, Amara expressed a similar motive.
As for her mercifulness, she is truly deserving of her title. My mother was simply covering for me. I'm ashamed I let her go so far for my sake.
Hold it!
So you killed Minister Inga, and Queen Amara staged the crime. Is that how it went? Precisely. My mother is as clever as she is kind. She sought to conceal my crime by taking all of the guilt upon herself.
Yet another lie. I need to poke a hole in this testimony, but how?
Nayuda, could it be you? Oh, okay. Didn't know Naina's real identity or told Amara what to do. I'd say the first one. That was really kept under wraps. I mean, he knew who his mum was, right? You didn't realize that Naina was actually Queen Amara, your own mother. That is not as strange as you might think. Much time had passed since we last met after all. Right. 23 years ago, was it? When Dirk saved her after the supposed assassination attempt? No, Mr. Justice. It was 15 years ago that Dirk abducted my mother. Huh. That's weird. You sure about that? I remember it clearly. I was around 10 years old at the time. Nira, please add that last statement to your testimony. I was reunited with my mother, Queen Amara, 15 years ago when Dirk abducted her. So you're 15-year-old, are you, Neuta? This brings an interesting thing to light, does it not? 15. Such a old, well, mature, but handsome-looking 15.
Objection!
You're saying that Dirk made off with Queen Amara 15 years ago. Well, that's strange, because I heard something very different from Dirk. He said that they ran off together 23 years ago. That is impossible. I know for a fact it was 15 years ago. Well, I have evidence to contradict your statement. How do you explain this photo? Dirk said it was taken 23 years ago. He said that? He did, but if we take what he said as fact, then there's something in this photo that doesn't make any sense.
This isn't making any sense to me, so I suppose I should ask. What does not make any sense if the photo is only 15 years old? What does not make any sense? What doesn't make sense if the photo is only 15 years old?
The baby standing right... Well, not really standing, but still. Hello, little one. I'm just gonna pat you on the head, as Reen would. Neuta, this discrepancy may not be directly related to this case, but I don't think we can simply overlook it either. Dirk said the baby in the photo was you, but that doesn't make any sense if the photo's only 15 years old. After all, you said you were around 10 then, right? No. He's definitely swaying bullets over there over something. Apollo, if this baby isn't Neuta... Wait, you don't think... Did Queen Amara have another child while she was on the run? What? And just what if that child were being held hostage? Neuta, is that why you obey Queen Golan's every command? You presume too much. Ah, and that's why Queen Amara was trying to take the rap as well. To protect this other child. A child born 15 years ago. They would have to be someone who's around 14 or 15 years old now. This is just a guess. But I believe I know someone who fits the bill. This also explains the strange behavior. This is the child who was born to Dirk and Queen Amara 15 years ago. And so, as they say, the truth will always find me out. All those strange statements she kept making. Now they all make sense. Prosecutor Maddie, may I ask you something? Of course, Your Benevolence. I've been meaning to ask you this since yesterday. Did you know about Queen Amara? And about me? From where did you hear such a thing? From Mother. And only yesterday. Rafa was carrying on about telling the truth to the people. So I told her what the truth really was. For it is up to a mother to discipline her child. I see. I cannot accept this.
Is something the matter, Your Benevolence?
Queen Amara is lying. It makes no sense. Queen Amara would not have killed my father. Why? Why did this happen? Oh, just as we were finally reunited. Oh, Queen Amara. Now I see, Neuta, why you do what you're told. The other child born to Dirk and Queen Amara was... Mr. Justice, I believe I know what you were about to say. But I cannot allow you to name an innocent soul as the child of terrible sinners. I thought you might try to stop me. After all, simply revealing this information endangers who you've been trying to protect. I think this should make it clear what I'm talking about. This is the chink in your armor, the real reason why you fear for your sibling's reputation. Okay. It's gotta be something that we haven't used kinda yet, maybe. And motive. A reason to protect. A file containing a ton of info on the assassination of Amara Khura'in. The arsonist involved Amara's private residence. Amara was sipped steaming pill and perished in the fire. Light found at the scene had Dirk's fingerprints on it. While his roving musician father got caught up in it, he was struck in the head by the culprit. The victim's passport and any pictures of him were burned up in the fire. Without knowing his real name, no divination seance could be performed. As son of terrorist Dirk, Nayuda was expelled from the royal family. The idea that the sins of the father are visited upon his children is deeply rooted in the minds of the Khura'inese people. So this is the thing, she'd be expelled from the royal family. It's page 34.
Take that!
And that is a file full of information that Dirk collected on what happened 23 years ago. A particular note right now is what's written here. The sins of the father are visited upon his children. This deeply held idea is why you were expelled from the royal family. Which means it wouldn't bode well for your sibling either, if she were revealed to be Dirk's daughter. Ugh. You became a prosecutor to bring down Queen Khura'in, but at some point you came to serve the very regime you despised. And that was because the Queen found this chink in your armor. That's how she came to use your sister against you. Nayuda, have you been keeping this secret all this time? Have you been trying to protect me? You are an innocent party to all of this. I live only to safeguard the law and serve the country and queen from which it flows. One such as you, who is destined to ascend to the throne, need not fret over one such as I. No, I cannot accept that. What you say is, it's malarkey. Don't you even care what happens to you? For country, queen, law, and everyone's future, my personal feelings are of no consequence. That is why I resign myself to my fate. I know I must accept the status quo without any thoughts of change. Spoken like a true prosecutor and patriot, I shall continue to rule Khura'in until the day Rafa succeeds me. For that is what is best for our kingdom. I know, Your Eminence. Yours is no small sacrifice, but I promise you this, in exchange for your life. The child shall remain safe, and the kingdom shall prosper. That is all I can ask for with my meager existence. Nayuda, is this really the new you? Resigning yourself to the will of another and killing any hope you held for the future? No. The Nayuda I knew would never let himself be turned into this. Now, Your Majesty, if you would hand down your verdict.
Objection!
You can say you're simply accepting your fate, Nayuda. But I know that deep down there is still hope in your heart. Oh, Holy Mother, preserve me. It's the kind of hope that perseveres through the most desperate of times. And it's what binds you, me, and Dirk together as a family. I know because this has demonstrated to me that you haven't lost all hope yet. What? Gotcha. Again, more evidence not being used. Dirk's badge is a symbol of Dirk's creed. A dragon never yields. The creed alone may not be it, but it's more the fact that Nayuda never confiscated it.
Take that!
When you interrogated Dirk, you confiscated all of his possessions as potential evidence. All except this. Did he take your attorney's badge too? No. I thought it strange, but just when it looked like he was going to take it from me, he changed his mind. tell me, Naida, why didn't you take his badge? Well, we'll leave it today on a question. More answers will obviously come in the next episode of Phoenix Wright, Spirit of Justice. I feel the end is nigh. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.